Welcome back to the Why Not Today podcast. Have you ever had one of those moments when you know exactly what to do, what you need to do, and you're just not doing it? And you're not alone. You're not confused. You're not lacking ideas. You're just not following through with the ways you want to. And I know that can feel really frustrating. I've been there myself because we know we're capable of more. And so today I want to talk about why we keep starting over and how to actually stay consistent even when you're not seeing results yet. And this is such an important topic. And honestly, I'm going to be a little transparent. I do not edit these episodes, but I recorded an episode yesterday and I redid it today. One, because I felt like I was all over the place yesterday. And two, because I listened to a great podcast that had a hack that I want to share with you guys that aligned exactly what we're talking about. So let me paint a picture for you. Anybody been here? You start the week on Monday, and Monday comes, you're motivated, you're clear. This is the week. You're going to get things done. I know we've all done this probably with exercise and diet. And then work. I start Monday with great habits. Tuesday and Wednesday roll around, you're doing okay. And then something happens. You get busy, you get tired, a little overwhelmed. You don't see the results as fast as you would. So that little voice in your head, anybody else have this voice that says, it isn't even working? Maybe I should be doing something else. Maybe I'll start again next week. I don't know if you've ever thought this thought, if you own your own business, that maybe I'll just get a job. This isn't for me. And before you know it, you're like, you know what? It's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, it's not working. I'm just going to give up and I'm going to start over next week. And so we start over the next week and you have the same list, the same ideas, the same frustrations, and then the same thing happens. And it's not just frustrating, it's discouraging. Can anybody else feel that pain? But here's the truth. It's really hard to keep going when you don't see results. You're doing the work, you're showing up, but it feels like nothing's happening. And that's when you start questioning everything. Am I doing the right thing? Is it even worth it? And you and I think what really comes down to is, are you keeping a commitment to yourself? And sometimes those things we do, the quote unquote boring things, the things that we need to do over and over that you don't see results right away, then we get frustrated. We don't think it's working because we are impatient. And so when you commit to yourself, you're doing something, and then you don't follow through, it's not because it's not exciting, or let me repeat that. Is keeping a commitment to yourself not when it's exciting, not when you feel motivated, but when it's quiet, when nothing seems to be working, that's a moment people stop. I listened to, as I mentioned in the beginning, a podcast from the Mindset Mentor, and he said something that really stuck with me. That he talked about having non-negotiable daily actions, not things you try to do, not things you do when you feel like it, but things you've already decided, like, this is who I am, this is what I do every day. And I love that these are chosen as non-negotiables because these aren't things you're forced upon you. You choose them. And when you choose them, you stop negotiating with yourself. And so those are the things you promise yourself you're going to do every day. And you hope that, I think it's more important to be committed to ourselves, because when you don't follow through with the things that you're committed to, then, or you tell yourself you're going to do, then you just beat yourself up. I've taught this many times with exercise. Like when you wake up in the morning and you have that goal to do whatever exercise, and then you don't do it, you beat yourself up all day. But what if you just do it? You're going to feel great. And so having those non-negotiables. So for me, one non-negotiable is I walk around the lake that I live on every day. And pretty much every day, like, I mean, every day, cold, rain, snow, hot, every day. Now, I did this before I have a dog. Now I have a dog, so it's even more motivation. But that's who I am. And people know it. And people watch. I live in a high rise, and one of my neighbors is like, Leslie's out there every day. Now, have I missed a few here and there? Like, I'm traveling, obviously, but I still try to get a walk in. There were a couple of days when it was really cold. One, my mother actually told me I wasn't allowed to. And my real worry was if I fell on the ice, and nobody would find me because I was the only crazy person out there. But I do try not to miss twice, and I don't miss twice. And so I am a person that does that. So what non-negotiables can you have in your world? Another one is this podcast episode I record every week, non-negotiable. And so that's a promise to me. And I'm sure there's nobody out there, I doubt that there's anybody out there waiting on bated breath for this podcast episode to come out every week. And if it is you, then let me know. I would love to to thank you. But it is a commitment I made to myself. And so I think that helps, the little commitments, not the big, huge things, but the little things that you can do daily. We brush our teeth, hopefully, we take a shower, we feed ourselves. Those are non-negotiables we do every day. So what can you build into your world that, one, maybe helps you physically, mentally, or something in your business that you just do every single day? And guys, consistency is king, or queen, let's call it that. Something I learned a long time ago in my business is not magical, it's mathematical. Attract number grows, and it's based on activity. So I knew in my Mary Kay business, if I talk to this many people, this will happen. I know you book 3 or you book 5, you hold 3. You talk to 5 people about the career opportunity, 1 will say yes. They're proven numbers that people have figured out and over time. Now, if you talk to 30 people and you're going to have 6 new team members, it may not be till you talk to the last 24, but the numbers don't lie. You just got to keep doing it. And when you consistently, and that's the word, guys, consistency, when you do the activity consistently, the results will come. And just as I said, not always all right away. And that's what gets frustrating. And that's why people quit. It's not because they can't do it. It's really because they don't see the results fast enough. So they think, this isn't working, I need a different plan, and they switch directions. They start over, not because the plan didn't work, but because they didn't stay with it long enough. So it's not the big things that build business. It's the small things that you do every single day. Your non-negotiables. So what are the things that you need to do for your business, for your life? They're non-negotiable. Is it, exercise? Is it eating the right thing? Is it making one phone call? Is it reaching out to one person? Is it a social media post? What are the things that you need to do that are non-negotiable? So I love this idea of a non-negotiable daily that you're going to do. And then something else that he talked about is having a chosen non-negotiable. So when you get up in the morning, you choose something you need to do that day to grow your business, to move you forward. And you do not go to bed until you do it. And literally feed on, you're on your way to bed and you realize I didn't do it. You still have to do it. And I think the habit of still doing it is going to help you plan it better. I have somebody I had on my podcast, Pamela Lamp, and she wrote a book, or she did something and then wrote a book, doing something new every day. And there were some days at the end of the day, she's like, oh, I didn't do my new thing. And literally it was brush your teeth with the other hands, do something. Somebody else wrote a letter every day to somebody. And there are some nights late at night she was doing it. I asked her, did she stack them? She's like, nope, I did one every single day. And I think that's the key, daily consistency. Why not today? And the other thing that helps is you don't need to be perfect. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, you might miss a day. Life's going to happen. But the rule I live by is don't miss twice. So literally it's written on my bathroom mirror, don't miss twice. So the mornings I miss walking, I just made sure I walked the next day. I didn't miss it. And so doing something every day, committed 365 days. Actually, the thing that, from the podcast I listened to, Rob Dial challenges, is do something for 100 days in a row. And honestly, my walking started during COVID, that I started in January of 2020, 2020 walking. And then March happened in 2020 and I just kept doing it. And literally I did not miss a day walking until November, that I think I finally missed, but I didn't want to break my streak. So one little simple shift can change everything, is doing and it's doing those first. So start your day with those negotiables. Like I do my walk in the morning, sometimes I do in the afternoon. Also, I do another walk, but before you pick your phone up, before you send out an email, before your day takes over, because when you do that, you start building trust in yourself. And as I mentioned, I have been doing this podcast. I have not missed. The only time that I missed, and I didn't even really miss, I would post it on Saturday and I went to post the podcast and it didn't record. So we had to re-record it. So it came out a day later. But other than that, it is a promise to myself and I'm going to keep it. So instead of starting over every week, what if you decided just once, what are your non-negotiables? What matters this week? What matters today? This podcast is coming out on mid early April. Like, what if you committed for the next 100 days to do that one thing? And let me know what that one thing is. Let me help you be accountable, because what matters this week, it matters today. So get out of your head. It's a very dangerous place to be. Choose your priorities and decide the few things that will actually move yourself forward, and then do them daily, daily, daily. And the consistency, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't see the results. And if you're listening to this and thinking that is what I'm doing, I keep starting over, then if you're listening to this in real time, I have a workshop that I am hosting next week on April 16th. It's about starting on Monday, and then you start out strong on Monday, and then by the end of the week, you've given up. And so let me know. It's a free workshop. I would love to share the link with you. And we don't need to start over again. You don't need a new plan. You don't need a new idea. You don't need a better strategy. You just need to stay in it long enough to see it work. Because the truth is, the results you're looking for are built in the quiet days, the boring activities, the days nothing exciting is happening, the days where you don't feel like it, and the days that would be so much easier to stop. And that's where everything's changed. That's where confidence is built. That's where momentum starts. And that's where you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. So instead of starting over, keep going. Keep the commitment made to yourself. You're the most important person. Ask yourself, why not today? Do the one thing you said you're going to do. And if you've listened to this podcast, you're new to us, welcome. If you've listened or watched in the past, thank you. And share this with a friend if you think this will help them. Do you know somebody that's having the same complaints? Please review it, like it, share it, spread the word, because that's how this podcast grows. Because I really feel like in the heart of hearts that we need to be having that daily consistency and saying, why not today? And you're worth it. So as I always close these with, why not today? What are you going to do? Let me know, and have a great day. Thanks again for watching or listening. Bye.